Hello people and very welcome. I'm having a great day. Mostly because I'm off work, but I'm also up in time to make an awesome video. Also I don't work, so you know. Thanks for the response on my last video. I was pretty interested to see actually. That's usually a video I don't upload because of my, you know, sounding angry and stuff. I'm not really angry. I like to express myself violently. No, not really. Wait. I like to be a little bit more harsh sometimes. Being offensive to players sometimes is fun, although it's no personal deal, you know. But I am generally a little bit disappointed with WoW, as is many people around. And I thought I would just poke a hole in why that is. People think it's because some classes get more damage than others. Some classes get more HP survival. Things like that. In the old days, if you didn't know, you couldn't have more than one character, and I'm not talking about you could have infinite characters. No, you could have 8, I think, and you could only play on one faction per server. But the problem was that it took months to get a character to level 60, and when you got to level 60, you didn't get the best gear. You had to be a hardcore gamer to get the best gear. Therefore, people spent time only on one character, and also people didn't know everything about their class and their character, so they made up their own way of playing, which might have made the game very unbalanced because people figured out stuff that other people didn't. But everybody got to be the best at something at some point because they figured something out that no one else has. Today, everybody plays by a meta, and Shaman is very vulnerable to that meta. The meta is silence and CC. I don't know how many times I've been running into a conflict of maybe 5 of my ally players hitting on a mage that ice blocks, and immediately when he gets out of the ice block, I get counterspelled. The reason for that is because counterspell against a shaman is completely OP. It shuts me down for up to 6 seconds or more, and it doesn't even have a condition. In the old days, counterspell used to be only to counter a spell, and it's silenced for a short while the spells within that school. And again, in Warlords of Draenor, Blizzard is again gonna remove this effect that the counterspell actually silences. And that's, to me, admitting a mistake. And believe me, Blizzard does mistakes. Most recently, I think, is their solution to Arena to make sure that you didn't have infinite games. The one team that got the other team lowest percentage HP at some point during the game was the winner. This spread so fast, the meta for this spread so fast that instantly in all level of rating people started to go in fully defensive, one-time nuke, and then line of sighting behind pillars. And anyone doing this realized this is the crappiest design ever. I mean, you pay a lot of money for this game. I paid more for this game than I've done for other games, every other game I played combined. I'm pretty sure about that because of all the years I've been paying continuously to play this game. And they make decisions like that. But not only is it that, it's because WoW is slowly declining in numbers, and Blizzard needs to figure out why and do something about it. And sometimes they listen too much to their player base, because the really good gamers, the people that understand World of Warcraft, is the ones that have been playing a long time and played it in vanilla when it was hard and unforgiving. And that made the game mysterious because you couldn't figure out things. When I started playing, I played on a very low level. I didn't start off with the massive amount of people that would just... I was in a big guild, I had support from some higher level players, but I had other interests. So I could get a few levels a day, I think, and played mostly on my own. I played a rogue. I hated the stun lock design that rogues were forced to play. I always played combat for that reason, even though combat were never any good. I think it was good at one point then it has never been good, because it's not stun lock, which you have to use if you have it in World of Warcraft, otherwise other people will beat you. And people fool themselves that this game is hard, but all the information you would ever need about any class and any play style against any meta, against any class, is out there on YouTube, and you just, if you want to find it, it's super easy. And then you do exactly that, and you're gonna be better than you were before. The real trickery to this game is figuring out things on your own. And it's when you start doing that, having fun and enjoying the mystery of this game, that things are starting to go to crap. Because people are looking up the meta and playing by it. So you might say, well then play an OP class, play another class that is better, or whatever. It's not supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be like that. This game is supposed to be mysterious, is supposed to be hard, is supposed to be adventurous and unforgiving for people that doesn't respect it, I would say. I don't know how many times I've been on 0 gold, not being able to repair my gear, and had to beg for money to be able to repair. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the crap out of that. Now everybody is staying, I believe, gear-wise at the top. Well, what could you say? I believe that everybody, as soon as the gear is released, gets it within a few weeks. No, not a few weeks, say a couple of months. And Blizzard has tried to make this game more balanced, meaning that you shouldn't have to play in a certain way to be good. I mean, there were specs that were completely useless, and it still is. There are still specs that you can't use because they're useless. I mean, I tried Mastery recently, and it's just unplayable. I'm not saying you can't kill people every now and then, but generally, running into a BG where you're not completely steamrolling the team, you will be nerfed to crap by any silence, interrupt, stun, deterrence, ice block, bubble, and so on. It makes the game not fun, because I have to go full haste. My current spec is fully haste. I mean, I use Ancestral Swiftness, Unleashed Fury, because Primal Elementalist and Elemental Blast is nearly useless. There's no reason to use Earth Grab, because every class has a way to deal with snares. So what Blizzard did to make PvP faster, to make Arena faster, was lowering the cooldowns of everything. There were spells back then with 10 minutes cooldown. 5 minutes wasn't uncommon. There were spells with an hour cooldown even. And this made players actually care about using the spells. When I go into Arena now, everybody uses all the spells all the time. All the stuns, all the CC, and it makes PvP infinitely annoying. But it's not only that, it's also the contrast between classes, because when I go on my warrior, I do not get CC'd. Even if I do get CC'd, I have answers to that, and I can take damage coming my way. As a shaman, I will be standing around being able to do nothing until I'm dead, because when I'm silenced, I can't do anything. And if I'm in a snare, I can't move. That means I will be standing around for 6 seconds against classes that deal 70 to 80,000 or more damage to me continuously. Instantly also, from range, like hunters. And when I get free, I will be stunned again. And the third issue with this is the fact that that's only from one class. Every class, like hunters, who doesn't know about the infinite scatter shot freezing trap combo that will shut you down for over 10 seconds. No effort. It has no cooldown, barely no cooldown, I would say. And diminishing return is a joke. He doesn't have to care about using that thing. He can use it every cooldown and it won't have diminishing. Priest can fear you for 8 seconds and then charm you for another 8, and they don't share diminishing. Mages, of course, have counterspell with almost no cooldown, and they just completely shut you down with no conditions. You can't duke that, you can't fake cast that. I mean, if you do fake cast it, you suffer a bit less, but it's barely noticeable. Because if you get counterspelled as a shaman, shamanistic rage doesn't work. It works when you're stunned, but not when you're silenced. And you also can't use totems. So Blizzard has just messed up trying to make players happy. I don't know if they listen to the majority, but the majority of players have never been shamans, or it was a very long time since they were shamans. Going into any BG now, About a fifth of the players will be hunters, and that's a lot considering there are 12 classes now? Is it 10 or 12? 11. No, it should be 11. Who cares? And 1/5 being hunters is very exaggerated. And the reason why people play hunters is for the obvious reasons. They have instant stuns, they have range, they have a pet that can attack around corners, doesn't care about line of sight, there's no suffering to have your pet killed. It's like everybody complained about every single weakness of hunters and they just responded to it. They are designed for people that don't want to put very much effort into WoW but still be OP. That's basically it. Looking at every aspect of a hunter, you don't see any weaknesses. For example, you can just instantly compare them to warriors. Are almost identical. I'm not talking in spells and things, I'm talking about damage they are able to output. Only that hunters are ranged and have a pet. That's basically the difference. And again, I'm not saying with shamans that you can't go into a BG and wreck the enemies, but you have to have the upper hand. If anyone has the chance to focus you every now and then, you will have an awful time and any other class will outdamage you, bring more power to the team. And I think the reason again is because Blizzard has made it too easy. Everything, all the information is available online. You can just get it the day it's released. You don't have to put any thought into it yourself. If you just dedicate yourself a little bit setting up your user interface and practicing your key bindings, also using macro provided by other players, you will be doing fine. You will be doing as good as you want to do. And doing as good as you want to do, playing a hunter, you get much more out of it than playing a shaman. So, saying all this, I've been trying to collect my thoughts, but it's very hard because of the conclusion to this. Making YouTube videos was from the beginning predicated on me playing a class that it's very, very volatile, able to being a support class, very weak towards CC, but immense at dealing damage, made this very fun and doable every third BG, or more often actually. So I could record a video and have fun and be happy with that. Now I have to play for days to be able to get a good BG, and I usually don't get a good BG because I get pissed, I get annoyed, and I can't focus on the game. I can't be cheerful, and that's again because being so punished all the time makes you wonder why Blizzard let it be like this. I'm paying for a game, it's fairly expensive. And I'm going into a BG and I have a class that can't play, that can't do anything. There are ways to make a shaman better or worse, but there's no way to make him align with the other classes. Absolutely not. The last thing they did was screw over shaman's damage because it was too much. And then they apparently completely forgot about their complete lack of CC. And now we're even lacking survivability because healing is so almost useless. Let's check this out real quick. A normal heal unbuffed, 72,000 outside of a BG. Because of the infinite stacking of battle fatigue, 72,000 heal is 28,000 in a BG. But you usually have healing reduction effect, and removing those 25 or 30% leaves you with 20,000 health healed upon your 531,000 HP. 25 times before you get to full HP. So many times I ran line of sight, putting down healing stream, healing myself 5-6 times only to have the HP removed instantly by the first attack from any hunter or warrior. It is ridiculous. Basically, they screwed the game over for some classes and made it way too powerful for other classes, while making it way too easy to find a meta, making this game completely unmysterious and unadventurous. It's just a grinding game and nothing else. And it's also an unfair, unbalanced grinding game. My conclusion is that I'm probably not going to be able to record more Shaman videos. Not for a while at least. If I find something awesome to do, some awesome strategy that I want to try out, I will do that. I will record and upload it, but I won't do a continuous series on this because it takes way too much energy and time to be able to withstand the problems that is playing a Shaman right now. Enhancement's still great, of course. They boosted enhancement Shamans to infinity with the damage they added to all classes, again leaving elemental Shamans in dust. So that's my verdict. I know some people won't like it, but it's just I can't force myself to do something that is just not enjoyable. But more realistically, it also takes way too much time. And I am finally gonna be able to catch up with doing other gameplay videos. I want to be covering actually other newer MMORPGs that is still unexplored, adventurous and interesting. So hopefully that can be done. Well, I hope you're okay with this little share of mind, I guess. It's just that I can't speak while recording Shaman videos anymore. I just get so I get so annoyed. So it's just a constant complaint about the problems that is Shamans. Again, very hard to actually stick to one point because there's almost an infinite amount of variables leading up to the problems we are facing today. And I have them all in my head, but I can't really express them. It is the reaction of the metagame, the reaction of the community to changes. Abusing the smallest things that can be abused will be abused to infinity. Back in the old days, again, before people had all the information available, when you are imaginative and want to come out with inventive ways to play World of Warcraft, you want to ignore WoW Ahead and you want to ignore the guides, you want to ignore the meta. But if you do, you will end up behind. You won't do as well. And to me, that's not gaming, that's not gameplay, that's just, to me, it's just people being proud of being good at something that is nothing to be proud to be good at. If you follow that thought, that's basically it. To be good, you just look at the guides, you look at the meta, and you do exactly that. And it's not hard. It's just that some people might not want actually to do that. Some people might just want to have fun. But if you want to have fun, you won't have fun, because there's no space for that in this game anymore. At least not playing a Shaman. You have to play a stronger class. I almost talked for 30 minutes now trying to collect my thoughts, but I don't know, I need to cut this together and make it sensible. You guys have a really nice day, and goodbye.